and your lemon Swiss roll is ready. It consists of nice and thin sponge, not a traditional thick and dry, so you can really taste the filling. I've got here Sablé Breton base. You can use a short crust base. It's just convenience because when you cut the sponge, you have a nice clean cut and you can easily move the sponge on a plate, so it's just convenience for serving. Swiss meringue on top and blowtorch. The blowtorching is optional. It just adds nice caramel flavor and it's really complement the lemon. This sponge is quick, simple and incredibly reliable. A bit different method to the previous sponge recipe, but it still bakes up light, flexible and easy to roll, so we won't need any cloth or pre-rolling tricks. The sponge is thin, soft and not overly sweet, which means you can pair it with a wide range of fillings. I'm using a 30 by 40 cm tray, so the recipe is scaled for that size. As for ingredients, you will need whole eggs at room temperature, granulated sugar, natural vanilla extract. Avoid vanillin sugar if you don't have real vanilla. Just leave it out or use a little lemon zest instead. You will also need a low gluten, high ratio flour. If you don't have that, a blend of plain flour and cornstarch works well. And finally some icing sugar for dusting after baking. This helps prevent the surface from drying out and keeps the sponge flexible. Now the method. If you are using the flour and cornstarch blend like me, sieve them together and set aside. In the mixing bowl, combine the eggs and sugar. Place the bowl over the water bath and warm the mixture to 45 degrees Celsius or 113 degrees Fahrenheit, stirring occasionally. Very similar to Swiss meringue method. The link is on your screen now. I'm using the mixer with a heating element, which makes this step easier, so if you are using the similar mixer, follow the instructions. I set the heat to level 6 until it reaches about 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit, while keeping the mixer on a low mixing speed. Then switch to level 7 to bring it up to 45 degrees Celsius, 113 degrees Fahrenheit. Checking with the infrared thermometer. Once the mixture reaches 45 degrees, you can remove it from the heat if using water bath, or turn off the heating on the mixer and then whip on the maximum speed until it reaches the ribbon stage. So it took 4 minutes in this mixer to bring the temperature to 45 degrees. Add vanilla extract. And this is your ribbon stage. It took 7 minutes in total, 4 minutes for heating, 3 to whip on the maximum speed. In the middle I've added vanilla extract and now I'm going to fold in my flour. Add flour in few additions and don't forget to mix deeply if you're using a mixing bowl. Usually flour tends to sink on the bottom. And this time I'm going to pipe using 12mm nozzle. Optionally pour the batter into a 30 by 40 silicone tray with the borders and spread the batter evenly with a spatula. You can lightly spray with the oiled silicone mat if it's not stick anymore, and bake at 190 degrees Celsius, 375 degrees Fahrenheit, fan forced for about 10 minutes. And when the sponge has a nice color and springs back lightly when pressed, take it out of the oven and dust the surface with the icing sugar. My oven was very hot today for some reason, so 8 minutes was enough. Now flip it on the baking paper to cool down. This prevents moisture loss. Let it cool for about 30 minutes. Peel off the silicone mat. This side will become inside of the roll. Now spread your filling of choice. I'm going to use a lemon cremeux that I recently developed. The batch size is perfect for one Swiss roll. You can spread it evenly or pipe it with a 7mm nozzle. And just leave a little bit at the end so it would be easier to roll, and this would be your bottom part of the Swiss roll. I do like this sponge because it's actually very thin compared to the previous one. Despite piping 12mm, the actual size would be approximately 6-7mm. And you can just remove extra of icing sugar while you're rolling. Roll the sponge tightly, place the seam on the bottom. To make it even more tight, you can use a baking paper and just a ruler, and press the ruler under the sponge while you're pulling the top paper toward yourself, and chill it in the fridge for 1 to 2 hours just to stabilize it. Brush off excess sugar. Now you can trim the Swiss roll. I prepared the base that is 26 centimeters, so currently my Swiss roll is around 29. So I'm going to trim on each side and have a nice cut. Use serrated knife for Swiss roll. In this case, the cut would be neat. For the final touch, I finish this lemon Swiss roll with a Swiss meringue and a quick blowtorch to add a smoky caramel note that deepens the lemon flavor. Just keep in mind that meringue wouldn't last long in the fridge, so it's better to decorate with a Swiss meringue just before serving. If you're going to skip Swiss meringue, the Swiss roll will last in the fridge for up to 3 days.